Hi, I'm Dan, and I'd like to show you a little bit about Brew, how to install it, and why I use it. Brew is available from brew.sh, and what it is a package manager for macOS, and it allows you to install a lot of packages you could get on Linux right in your macOS into the terminal. Why do I use it? Well, I'm a web developer, a software engineer, so I need to install things like PHP, NGINX, MySQL, and these are just a lot easier to install using Brew. I've even written a book that covers a lot of this. I want to walk you through how I'm installing Brew for an Apple Silicon computer. I've just got my first Apple Silicon machine, my M1 chip for the Mac Mini, and I just want to see how easy it is to install. I've heard with Brew version 3 that it's now very easy. So let's give it a go. If you haven't already, you need to head over to brew.sh. And what we need to do is copy this command, and we're going to paste it into the terminal. This command is going to GitHub and getting the install script. We could look at this directly. And sometimes it's better to actually look at it directly, if you don't trust the source. But I trust the source, so I'm quite happy to run this command. For this to work, it needs full access to your computer, so you will need to enter your user password. It says it will be installing the command line tools, which is good because normally you had to install this manually yourself. It's not just enough having Xcode installed, you need the terminal commands. This will take a bit of time depending on how fast your internet connection is. It's also a fair amount of data, so it also depends on how fast your hard drive is. I'd also recommend making sure that you've got a lot of free space for this. Sort of assume 30 gigabytes. You can probably do it with less. As you install more things over time, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. You can prune it down with various commands, and Brew does try to do cleanup every 30 days, assuming you use the software. Another thing you can do with Brew is use it to manage other applications like Inkscape. But I'll cover that in another video. Now Brew has installed the command line tools. It's moved on to actually installing Homebrew itself, which is managed by a giant Git repository. And you can see it slowly downloading. Okay, that's Brew installed. Installation as it was took about 5 gigabytes. But that's just the bare minimum for Brew. The more you install, the more you'll use. So let's do these last few commands it's asking us to do, so that the Brew terminal commands are in the shell, or in the path. And then if we type Brew, there we get it. And if we type brew doctor, just to double check that everything's been installed correctly. This is also a useful command if things start going wrong with Brew in the future. Okay, so everything's up to date, everything's working. Let's have a quick look for, MySQL. Let's have a quick search for MySQL. Okay, you can see here that MySQL is in here a few times. We've got MySQL client, which if you only want to connect to things, then that's fine. But I want MySQL server, which I think is just MySQL. We do have other versions of MySQL here, 5.6 and 5.7, but I just want the latest version. So I can just type brew install MySQL. Now, if I do this, and MySQL releases 8.1, then it's going to pull in the latest version if I do upgrade. If I want to control it, then it's not listed, but I should be able to say at 8.0, because that's the latest version. And if I do upgrade in the future, it'll only bring in point releases, so 8.0.10. as opposed to 8.1. If I ever wanted to upgrade to 8.1, then I'd have to manually upgrade. And let's have a quick look for PHP. So you can see a lot more different versions for PHP here. And they've already got 8.1. But at the moment, I'm doing all my work on 8.0 and PHP at 7.4, and we'll throw in NGINX there. So that's the basic information for Brew: how to install things, how to search for things, and how to just double check your installation works. But Brew will be going through and finding all the dependencies that are required to install PHP, NGINX, MySQL, and install those first, and then install the actual applications that you're after. Which is why it's a package management rather than just installing each individual product. This is going to take a while, so let's speed it up. So let's see if PHP is available on the command line. Right, so when you first install it, it's not going to be fully set up in the path. So if we try a new terminal window, still not. After the installation of different commands, there'll be text telling you how to use it. So does NGINX work? Okay, NGINX is available. So let's go back to the PHP bit. And we can see the PHP 7.4 version here. And we need to put these in our ZSH RC file, which is a file that gets run before your terminal starts, just to set everything up. And so if we, for example, paste these in and then have a look at our ZSH RC folder, we can see these two lines in there. This file has not been run yet, so if we were to type PHP on the command line now, it wouldn't work. If we open up a new version, a new tab, then we can see it work. If we want to get this tab working without opening up a new one, then we could just source that file. And then if we rerun it again, it works. And if I wanted the 8.0 version, then I could just do this. And if I resource that just to make sure it's rerun. And there you go. And that's just how I deal with multiple versions of an app. Alternatively, you could just refer to the PHP installation binary by the path and just do PHP and then do the -v there. That way you can have multiple versions. The default is the version you want, but you've still got access to all the other versions if you need it. And this is the same with other commands, whether it's like Python, Perl. I hope this helps. If you want to see a bit more about Brew, then drop me a comment, or if there's a particular package you're struggling with Brew, then give me a shout. Till next time, I'll see you in the next video.